Welcome everyone to the Business Leaders Breakfast for 2002. I'm lucky enough to have Councillor Jason Hamling, the Mayor of Orange. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks, Wayne. Great to be here.
It's great to have you. So you were appointed Mayor of Orange late last year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
From all of us at RDA. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm born and bred in Orange. Did all my schooling here in Orange, went to Glenroi Heights Public, then went on to Canopolis High. Played all sports as a kid, rugby league, cricket, rugby union. That was the game in our house. My dad was a successful Central West Rugby first grade coach. He coached Orange City to 6 straight first grade premierships. We also had an affiliation with Emus where Dad started, so we sort of swapped clubs halfway through. Did worked as a young guy, did the usual things, went out with my mates and did a bit of travelling. I went over to England for 12 months with a young guy who used to be the Australian junior lightweight boxing champion of Orange. Glenn Sutherland, so him. Yeah. I was in his corner as a cornerman, and he got beaten in a fight. And on the way home, we concocted this idea of let's go travelling. So we went overseas for 12 months and had a great time over there. We lived in the Channel Islands in Jersey, playing rugby. We went to Israel, we went to Egypt. We had a great time. Also had a stint of rugby up in Darwin. Had a season up there, which was pretty interesting. As a young guy, as a schoolboy, I made New South Wales schoolboys for rugby union. So obviously played a fair bit of rep rugby all through my career. Then finished my rugby career, had a stint at coaching Orange City first grade for a year, and then got into politics. And here I am. I've got a beautiful wife and 3 boys.
Yeah.
All my family's here, and love Orange.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I actually left Orange. I couldn't wait to leave Orange, and then you came back. You don't realise how good you have it.
Yeah, and that's that little magic trick Orange has got. It draws you back. Draws you back. You might have your family and all that, but just the lifestyle and the people. There's such friendly people in Orange.
Yeah, no, it's great. So describe to me, because a lot of people don't know, what's the day in the life of a mayor?
Well, it's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people sort of
expect
that, but I've got a mortgage to pay, and I can't afford. I've got a little business that I try to run on mostly weekends. It's just a transfer company, and I also work at Orange High School 1 day a week as a student support officer or a general assistant.
Yeah.
So a day I've dedicated a couple of days that I'll come into the office here, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays when I'm needed.
Yeah.
But there's also the weekend stuff. There's also the calls from the media at all hours of the day. So so I come in, I check my emails, have meetings, have Zoom meetings. Council night, we get in and prepare for council meetings. The councillors come in around 5:30. We have something to eat together, and then the council meeting starts at 6:30. So, and the new time is hopefully they're finished by around 9:30. So then everyone can go off. But yeah, it's an interesting role as a mayor. I've found it different to being a councillor. It can be rewarding, but it can be very pressurised because everyone wants a bit of your time, and if things aren't going right, you're the man they come to.
Yeah. And you get the blame regardless. It's one of those hard sort of things.
Well, you're never going to keep everyone happy. It doesn't matter what decision you make, but you need to make a decision. I'm a firm believer. Instead of people want to see decisions made, whether they like the decision or not like the decision. I think you need to make a decision because that's why you were elected by the people. To make those decisions. So I think you've got to take the sweet with the sour.
Yeah. No, it's a hard job. I would never want it. It's one of those. So, what are the 3 things that you would like to change in Orange?
Oh, like a lot of people said that to me. You can change. I don't think Orange needs changing. I think Orange is a great place. Sure, we've got some potholes. Sure, we've got barking dogs. Sure, we've got, you know, some, you know, last summer we had a lot of overgrown grass because there was plenty of rain around. But I wouldn't want to change anything about Orange. I think Orange is a great place, and the people are friendly. And you know, we had a welcome the residents barbecue about a month ago, and just hearing the people's stories, how friendly and welcoming Orange was, and opening their arms up to new residents. You know, just makes you know that you're in a really good place.
Yeah, and I think that's a thing. Sometimes we want change for change's sake.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, let's have it how it is. It's good as it is.
And Orange will change. Like,
you
know, everything changes. You can't have things the same, because if we had things the same, we'd still have dirt roads and horse and sulkies. But it's not going to happen. And Orange will change, and Orange has changed. You know, the demographic of, you know, 30 years ago there was 20,000 population. Now there's 42. So Orange has changed, and Orange is becoming a popular place to come and live because of the lifestyle and what we have out here to offer.
Yeah, and I think that's a big sort of thing, that lifestyle option.
Yeah,
and that's why we came back.
Yeah. And you know, we're connected to air by Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney. We're in the, you know, you're 3.5 hours from Sydney. You're 3.5 hours from Canberra.
Yeah,
sure, it gets a bit cold.
Yeah,
but I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the cold.
But when you're running around playing rugby, you need a bit of cold.
Yeah, you need a bit of cold. And, you know, it hasn't got a beach. That's probably one thing it'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
But we've got the lake. But, you know, you live, when you're born and bred in Orange, you get used to the cold.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, my wife complains about the cold. She's from Bathurst. So, you know, she complains about the cold. But I just think it's a great place, and you get 4 seasons. So, yeah.
And that's the thing, when one of the past logos was the Colour City, because you got that 4 seasons.
The seasons, And now outside the you know, the trees are changing colours, and visitors to town just, like, I have a lot of visitors in my bus that I take around, and they just love the place. They just can't believe how cosmopolitan it is and how regional it is. You know, I think they're thinking that they were going to drive into Orange and there's going to be kangaroos jumping down the main street. They just can't believe, you know, how modern it is.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it is,
and I think that's great.
Yeah.
So, anything you really want to change in the Central West at all? Not just Orange. It's like going the whole Central West.
Well,
what would make it?
Well, Orange, you know, having a
Orange focus,
having a connection over the mountain, you know, a proper highway, would be good. Yeah. Because you know, you saw in the last rains there was landslides. That, you know, people aren't going to come out here if there's no if the transport route's not very good. Yeah. So, you know, they've been talking about it for years, and they'll keep talking about it for years. And you know, government's done studies. Both sides of governments have done studies and done all this. But, you know, it'd be lovely to have something that you could sit on 110 and, you know, arrive in Lithgow or arrive in Bathurst
in a safe manner.
In a safe manner, and open the Central West right up to the Sydney people, which, you know, Sydney's you know, over bulging at the moment with residents. So that would be good for the Central West. I think it'd be great for business. It'd be great for it'd just open up the Central West.
Yeah. And I've been stuck in those car jams and all that, and the faster route, or even the modifications that they're going to do now with 2 lanes will make it
make a hell of a difference.
So,
but, you know, it'd be, you know, in a perfect world, it'd be nice to have a motorway that ran under the tunnel, and, you know, you pay a toll and you pay for convenience. But that'd be one thing about the Central West. And, you know, obviously the other one's water security. You know, Orange, not built on a river. So at the moment, you know, we've got lots of water. We've got all the dams are full. But one, you know, in the coming years, we will be, you know, back to that that situation. Situation we had. So that conversation's still got to be ongoing, especially for Orange. But you know, Central West is a great place. Like, you know, you've got Dubbo's got the zoo, Bathurst has got, you know, Mount Penn. There's so much diversity. You can go for a day trip to Grenfell, or go, you know, these little towns. Yeah, it's such a cool place when you think about it. You don't think about it because you when you delve into it, of how many cool places there are that you can do a day trip from Orange. It's a great place.
Yeah, it's only when you have friends coming up there that you actually realise how much
and how lucky we are to have
Yeah.
that on our doorstep, on our
Yeah.
back door. So yeah, just those sort of things. Obviously water and transport
are the big things.
are the big things.
Yeah.
And I think everyone says that. Like everyone you talk to would love to have a clear passage over the mountains, or love to know that your water's there all the time. And as I said, those conversations are still got to be ongoing with, and that's just not a local government conversation, but
that's all levels.
That's all levels.
Yeah.
So, and I know those conversations are happening at the moment.
Yeah. No, that's great there. So, as a councillor, and I know you've only been mayor for a short time, what are some of your greatest achievements today?
Well, I've been on council for 17 years.
Yeah.
So I've been deputy mayor a couple of times. And I've been chair of the sports committee for 17 years, which Councillor Greenhouse has now taken over. So sport was my baby. I've been chair of the sports committee. We did the indoor PCYC.
Yeah.
So I was chair of that. The indoor pool, I was chair of the sports committee for that. We've got the sporting precinct, which is happening at the moment. Personally as a councillor, the thing that I like building stuff, and I like bringing events out here so people don't have to go to the capital city.
Always have to go to Sydney.
Yeah, always have to go to Sydney. So I like bringing events, but I like helping people who have problems at council and they ring you and say, I've got this, how do I deal with that? Now, a lot of people don't like coming to council, to the chambers and all that. So if I can help them talk to the right person or steer them in the right direction, so I can help their problem might be the most minutest thing that can happen with a phone call or a visit or something like that, and it can happen straight away. So I like helping people. This term of my mayoralship for this term is only 2 years and 9 months.
Yeah.
Whether they extend that or not, I don't know, but 2 years and 9 months, that'll bring me to 20 years in local government.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah. No, I think that's really fantastic, because a lot of times people don't know the right person to talk to, or also the right questions to ask.
That's right.
And they get frustrated. And
if you can, and sometimes all governments got bureaucracy, so if they go through the front desk, they might get led here. But if they ask a question of a councillor, how they can, the councillors are very approachable. Yeah. And if you are, not just myself, but all the councillors, so how do I deal with this? Ring a councillor and see how you can help
through with it. Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
So basically, we've already sort of talked about sort of some of the major investments in Orange there that you've achieved for the sporting. Can you give us an update on the sports precinct?
Yeah, well, where we're up to at the moment, if you go for a drive out there, you can see a bit of action happening.
Yeah.
The tree removal has taken place, and the relocating of trees. There's going to be more trees planted out there when this is finished than was already out there.
Yeah.
And every tree that is removed from that place, there'll be three trees planted around Orange.
Yeah.
So council worked hard on trying to get that sorted.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a good job. There's been plenty of consultation. This project's gone through the ringer. It's had 2 heritage assessment, regional planning assessment. They're both independent assessments. Yeah. So it's been given the tick of approval.
Yeah.
The next stage will be the earthworks. So that'll come to council for a tender process.
Yeah.
And that means the bulldozers will be out there shaping the fields.
Yeah.
So hopefully, all things going well, the middle fields, the multi-use fields will come online first.
Yeah.
Then the athletics track will be built, and then the rectangular field.
Oh, great.
So as I said, if you go for a drive out there, things are happening.
Yeah. So we'll actually have that ability to have some really big events, or sort of age groups under 15s.
Yeah, junior competition, but not only sport. You can have markets out there. You can have, it can be a community. You could have film nights out there.
Yeah.
You can, Elton John went to Bathurst, and we didn't have the facility to be able to host that. So we'll have that facility.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So what's your goals for 2022? Apart from not getting COVID again.
Yeah, don't want COVID again. Councils, the new council's pretty positive, and yeah, I just want to continue on the good work that since I've been on council, there hasn't been, in my opinion, a bad council. There's been projects that have continued on. So continuing on the legacy of previous councils and just going forward and putting Orange. I want Orange to be the #1 regional centre in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Now we've got some stiff opposition. You've got Bathurst down the road. You've got Dubbo. You've got Coffs Harbour. You've got Wagga Wagga, Tamworth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition, but we punch above our weight, I think, and especially with our tourism happening at the moment. Orange is a pretty popular place to come out and have a weekend or have a long weekend. So just continuing on what we're doing and. Hopefully, hopefully just making Orange a better place than it is. And that's pretty difficult to do, I reckon.
Yeah. No, it's really nice to walk down the side streets and see those new businesses starting and all that. And it's really showing a vibrance.
And the CBD beautification now, McNamara Lane, like if you go for a drive down there and, we've done the northern side of Lord's Place. Yeah. Next on the list is the southern side of Lord's Place.
Yeah.
We're trying to build the Southern Distributor Road. Like that's a pretty big build. So Orange will be linked in the years to come with one big circle round, one big link road. So you'll be able to use that to go off to different places in Orange. You've got the Conservatorium of Music. You've got the sporting precinct. So you've got to keep moving forward with different projects and different ideas. And that's what the councillors are good at. They come up with different ideas and different projects. Tonight at the council meeting, our draft budget will go on display for 28 days and the community strategic plan will go on display for 28 days. So that, that plan's pretty important. We've done lots of community consultation and the budget tonight's more of a steady as you go budget, but we'll do a mini budget later on in the year and we'll try and align the community strategic plan with the budget then, or whatever ideas the council's come up with.
Yeah. So for yourself personally, we all have mentors or role models. Who's your role model or mentor that's helped you for a long time?
Local government.
Yeah.
John Davis.
Okay.
Yeah. John Davis. He was the one that got me in to politics. I ran #3 on his ticket when he came over from Blaney.
Yeah.
I was in my form years as employment, I was a TV news cameraman for 25 years.
Yeah.
So saw a fair bit of politics and local politics and got to drive around a lot and interview councillors and all that sort of thing. And this John Davis was coming over from Blaney and he asked me whether I wanted to go on his ticket at #3. A lot of people said very hard to get on at #3, so I just went for the ride.
Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, I got a phone call from him after the election. Said, "Guess what, mate? You're on." And I went, "What?" I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I remember my first 12 months of council, sitting around there going, "What have I done?" Like, wow, what's going on here? I'm sitting at this table with all these very important people. I felt like I didn't. I was very nervous and. You get up and say something and you're like a little mouse trying to get up and then you get used to it. And then you think to yourself, you go home after a council meeting, look in the mirror and go, I've done something good for the town, or
I've helped.
You've helped create decision making for future years. And that's what it's all about, future years.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely great there. So we've probably already talked about that. What's the biggest mistake or missed opportunity you've made in your life, your professional or just personal?
Probably when I was 18 and represented New South Wales schoolboys, I got 3 or 4 offers to go to Sydney to play rugby union for Sydney clubs. And like, I love visiting Sydney.
Yeah.
And my professional life as a TV news cameraman, got plenty of offers to go and work for Channel 9 in Sydney and all that sort of thing. Never took them up.
Yeah.
And then you just wonder, what if?
Yeah.
Could you have gone on to the Wallabies, or could I have gone on to working for big shows on Channel 9? But I don't regret it, because I don't regret anything that I've done in my life. I love Orange, and I knew I'd stay here. And my boys, when I have conversations about what they're going to do, my oldest one's just moved to Wollongong for university, but my other 2, they love Orange. So
And I think there's a lot of opportunity now in
Yeah.
Orange for young kids.
Yeah.
So it's an open soda.
Well, there's so many diverse companies out here. You've got the mining companies, you've got the health companies, you've got and the new medical school out at CSU. Like you can become you can be trained to become a doctor in Orange.
Yeah, and
Like
that's amazing.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's really good. And if you hopefully those students who train out here, they embed themselves in the lifestyle. So then they go, well, hang on.
Yeah.
Once I become a doctor, I'm going to stay here because the lifestyle's great.
Yeah.
And we're lucky we've got the major health precinct out the road, which is a big draw of professionals. And as a council, it's about creating that lifestyle so people can come out here to work and play and feel comfortable about it. Yeah. And I think we do a good job. We've got 2 golf courses, we've got the art gallery, we've got the civic theatre, we've got the food and the wineries, we've got sporting for kids to play, lots of sport that kids can play. I know at council we are working on trying to just for this winter, and hopefully we can get a private company to open up an indoor playground because there's no indoor playgrounds.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're working on as a council, just something temporary for this winter.
Yeah.
And hopefully a private company can come along and council will help them take it up.
Yeah.
Not going, we don't want to go in a competition with them, but just
it's just that fill that gap.
Yeah, fill that. Yeah, there is a gap there because a few years ago the biggest age group in the growing in the census was the 0 to 4s.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mums and kids out there during winter that don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So
some really sort of big issues there. So and probably through your career, when have you ever doubted yourself and what did you do?
Oh, my wife is really good at when I've got doubts or worries or concerns. I sound it with her. I sound most things with my wife Melissa. She's an ex-journalist.
Okay.
So she if there's something coming up in council that I'm a bit unsure of, I can have a conversation with her and we can
give you both sides.
Give me both sides because and she's pretty interested in what's happening at council, obviously, because her husband's the mayor, so she gets asked questions as well. But it's interesting because I suffer from a little bit of anxiety, and and probably this is not the best job for me is to be mayor and having that sort of thing, but working through that with my wife, discussing things, and I try not to have too many doubts because if I say what I think and I'm true to myself, and that's what I want to be.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I bounce everything off my wife. She's the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're true to yourself, and if you make decisions on everything on merit, not and be open to change. Like I know I've walked into that chamber in 17 years and thinking, I'm voting this way. There's been debate.
Yeah.
And you think, no, that's wrong. I'm going to vote that way. So be open to change as well.
Listen to the issues.
Not just have blinkers on.
Yeah. Name something you'd love to hear less of.
Oh, potholes.
Yeah. It's always
potholes. But and I'm not passing, Orange has got potholes, but every other bloody town's got potholes as well. And the staff do a good job in trying to get to those. Like when it rains, the roads they go bad. But people can report those potholes. There is a number where you can report those potholes to council, not just sit there and go on Facebook or whatever and whinge about it, but actually be proactive and ring the council officers and say, yep, there is a bad pothole in this certain section. So then councils will prioritise and get to that.
Yeah. And I think the hard sort of thing is where one of the advantages for Orange, we've got these 4 seasons. Yeah. Unfortunately, 4 seasons don't really help potholes.
Well, we are built on a swamp too.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Matters as well. But I think that's what I hear the most from people. And Facebook is it's a pretty bad place to. Like I try not to. I've got my own personal Facebook account, which I talk about footy.
Yeah.
Like that, I love talking about footy. And I have a mayoral Facebook page where I'll put in the things that I've been to or what's coming up and
Talking
all
about.
that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
you know, there's a few sites on Facebook that you don't want to go near, because if you went near that, you wouldn't do it.
No, it's always a hard one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the best piece of advice you've ever received from anyone?
Stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, when I took on this job, like the first few weeks, my head was spinning, going, "Oh, you know, wow, it's so different." Because you know, it's so different to being a councillor. But yeah, just be yourself, because obviously we're a popularly elected mayor.
Yeah.
We're not elected by the councillors, so people had faith in me. They know, people have known who I am, and you know, I'm involved with junior rugby union. I was involved with, you know, a few other boards and clubs and all that. So people voted for who I am. So yeah, being true to myself and not changing who I am.
No, that's great. So when you're not mayor, what does life look like for Jason Hamling?
Busy, because I've got boys who are sport mad. As I said, I've got a young bloke who's just started down at Wollongong University.
Yeah.
My downtime is just watching the footy.
Yeah.
Like I just like sitting at home watching the footy with the boys, and you know, we've got our own little family tipping comp, and just I like to relax. I'm a pretty private person.
Yeah.
And it's probably not a good thing being private, but I am pretty private.
Yeah.
And you know, just my downtime, because most of my transfers for my business is on weekends.
Yeah.
So I need to have time off at some stage. I can't do 7 days a week flat out. I've got to have some downtime, and it's usually just sitting at home watching the footy, or going out for dinner with my wife, and then going to the movies, or having friends over for dinner, or having a barbecue, or traveling. Love traveling. You know, as I said, I was supposed to be in Fiji, but that didn't eventuate. So you know, we booked all these trips over the COVID time. So now we've got all these air credits everywhere.
We did the same.
Yeah. So you know, I don't want to. Local government's not going to take over my life. Like I've got kids that I want to go do stuff with. So, and I'm sure people out there know they're the same sort of thing. Because I went for the election, I ran on a family sort of ticket. You know, family first, and my family comes first, second, third, and last.
Yeah. No, that's a great attitude. I really love that.
Yeah.
So really, we'll probably come to the final bit, which is the fast five there. So 3 people you'd love to have dinner with.
My wife, probably.
Right answer there.
Yeah, my wife straight away. I'd love to have dinner with. It's a hard question, that one, because I really don't. Probably Barack Obama. He'd be interesting to have a bit of a chat around the dinner table with. And probably Peter Garrett, because I love Midnight Oil.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
A tragic.
Yeah.
So you would have enjoyed when he came down.
Yeah. I'd seen him a couple of years before. They had a tour, and I went to Canberra to watch them, and then I went to Sydney to watch them. So it was great having them out here.
Great being that hardcore.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday destination in Australia or overseas?
Oh, Port Douglas.
Yeah.
In Port Douglas, Avoca Beach, Manly Beach, and Fiji.
Okay, laughing.
Yeah.
Hidden gem in the Central West. Could be a person, place, or a venue.
Oh, hidden gems.
Gems. Yeah.
I can't name one. There's so many hidden. Like there's so many places in the Central West that are really, you know. Oh, I can't name any. Like I love the Central West, and I love going somewhere and going, I didn't even know this was here. You know, the Bournall Caves. So you drive past it until you actually go in and go for a bit of a walk and see those caves. You go, wow, look at that. That's amazing. And that's 10 k's out the road.
Yeah. And people just don't know about
the lake, Lake Canobolas.
Yeah.
Amazing place. I take a lot of visitors out there. They love it.
Yeah.
They think it's amazing. Mount Canobolas. You know, so many places that we have around here that we don't realise until we go searching.
Yeah. And I think, you've hit the nail on the head. I think we've got the favourite sporting code, but what's your favourite team?
Oh, the Bulldogs.
Oh,
Bulldogs, tragic.
Okay.
Yeah. Bulldogs.
Sorry for you.
Yeah. At the moment. Yeah. No, My youngest son's named Mortimer. As you know, there was
Okay.
3 Mortimer brothers that
Yeah.
played for the Bulldogs, and Peter, who lives in Orange, he
Yeah.
used to be my boss at Win TV. So
Yeah.
I became very close to Peter, and
Yeah.
then I had my 3rd son, and I named him Mortimer.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And what's one skill would you love to learn?
I'd love to learn how to play I'd love to play a musical instrument.
Yeah.
Because I reckon I rate myself as a singer in the shower. I don't think any other people rate me, but yeah, musical instrument would be great.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's all our questions. So thank you
Pleasure.
for coming on to the Business Leaders Breakfast, and yeah, good luck for the future.
Thank you. Thanks, Wayne.